If you enjoy movies, comic books, and pop culture, be sure to like and subscribe.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the REC Podcast, brought to you by REC Comics and Collectibles. I'm your host, Roman Chavez, and with me, as always,
Erik.
Eric, you can find us on the gram at REC Podcast. You can follow myself at Roman REC Podcast, or you can follow the shop at REC Comics, or come check us out at 7679 North Union Boulevard in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And you can find Eric anywhere non-alcoholic beverages are served. All right? How you doing today, buddy?
I'm okay, man. I've been up for like 3 days.
You've been up for 3 days?
Yeah,
Nice.
I've been on booze straight.
Yeah, man. Non-alcoholic booze. I hear you.
Yeah, man.
I hear
Just tipping back those Miller Sharps and duels, you know?
What's the best-selling non-alcoholic booze?
Sam Adams, Just the Haze.
Okay.
Is probably, I would say, the biggest non-alcoholic seller that we
Nice.
have.
Okay.
I think people are, especially nowadays, tend to get into more microbrews. So I can see there a market for a more non-alcoholic beer with the microbrews. There's not that many. Because a lot of people like to just drink beer for the taste and get the subtle notes of things. So I'm shocked that there's not more than just the Sam Adams one.
I've heard the Heineken Zero is good. If you like Heineken, it tastes like Heineken.
It does taste like Heineken.
Yeah.
It doesn't have that bite, which I'm sure is like the hops and stuff. So it's fine.
Yeah.
There's zero fun involved with it.
Oh yeah.
Heineken zero fun.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. And on the ones and twos, actually, we had a prisoner exchange. So your boy was in Russia for a little bit of time.
Yes.
I said some things I shouldn't have said. I want to apologize.
Yeah.
And, we traded Jordan for me. That's just what it is, guys.
We had to do it.
That's just what it is.
I had to make that choice. It was like a Sophie's choice. But I had to go with my boy Roman.
Yeah.
I got mad love for the tuna. But, we started this, and we're gonna go out on this.
We usually record on Tuesdays.
Yes.
Today's actually Friday.
Yes.
So the Big Tuna had prior engagements.
Yes, he did.
But with a Heineken tie-in, because there was Heineken prop stuff for it, we all went and watched Ant-Man and The Wasp. Quantumania last night.
We did.
We went and saw, the opening night because we cannot stand. I don't mind spoiling stuff for Eric, but I don't want stuff spoiling for me. All right,
of course.
So we had to get in. We had to watch it. We got all the boys, the Big Tuna, friend of the show, Dave.
Woo!
Eric and myself.
Yes.
And we went and had a guy date and watched Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
We had been building up this movie for quite some time here on the show. I've been very excited about it because it's supposed to be the kickoff to Phase 5. King the Conqueror, we know, is the antagonist, and we know that we're going to get to Kang at some point in the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
The movie, we're not going to tell you everything, but kids, we are going to talk spoilers. There's going to be a lot of spoilers in here, especially we will be talking the credit scenes. So if you do not want to get those credit scenes spoiled for you, which I do not want you to, we will be, shut it off, come watch this when you're done so we can all vibe together.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, because usually I sit right next to Eric, but
I was a little, I had to work.
He was late.
I was rushing. We had a big snowstorm too.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
I could only drive so fast. I still managed to get there roughly on time.
Oh yeah, you didn't miss anything.
I didn't miss anything. Yeah, I did miss the Flash trailer though.
Yes, I hadn't seen the Flash trailer at all.
Right.
We were talking about doing a reaction video on here because we can never get that done. We will still not get that done. But it was really cool to see the Flash trailer on the big screen as it's meant to be seen.
Right.
When the little blurb came on the Super Bowl, I walked out of the room.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to see it. And not because I don't want to. I was like, if I hate it, I don't want to hate it because it's small. I love the trailer, but we'll talk about that some other time.
Are you talking about the trailer or Rihanna's performance?
We'll come back to that on another show.
I think she killed it, by the way.
I
think she was awesome. Rihanna, I got mad love for you.
I don't.
Really? Why?
I don't. Yeah, here we go. Side tirade. I don't. She hasn't made an album since 2016.
Sure.
Who cares? Who cares?
A lot of people do. She's got a big fan base.
They do. Yeah, no,
she's got a huge fan base.
I am the way the odd man out.
Right.
I didn't care for the performance. I didn't care for the baby reveal thing because I want to see Britney Spears and Steven Tyler in some crazy mashup doing something sexy and something like that.
Right.
And none of this. I mean, she's just. And I get it. She's pregnant. That's fine.
pregnant,
Yeah.
yeah.
Congratulations. I'm very excited. Not what I want to see at my football game.
Fair enough. I thought she did great. I know people were upset about the hypocrisy involved. She did say in 2019 she would not be ever perform at a Super Bowl, halftime performance because of the BLM stuff.
Yeah.
But she did renege on that, which is fine. People can change their opinions. It's okay.
Yeah.
Who knows? Behind the scenes, the NFL may be making better strides towards that. So
And
maybe there was a compromise there.
one thing I didn't know,
Yes.
and my wife pointed this out to me, halftime shows don't get paid.
No.
They do that pro bono. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's
I did
promotion.
not know that.
Yeah.
Now, they do always get a bump in sales and all of this stuff afterwards.
Yeah, that's worth it alone.
But it's just very weird because what are we going back and buying, Umbrella again? No.
I would say it's introducing younger fans. Everyone watches football.
Fair enough. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
you got
either
me.
way, I thought she killed it. You did not care for it.
It really wasn't because I was expecting what we got in all those dumb commercials. I was expecting to get power cameos on stage. I like that.
Nothing's going to beat last year.
Yeah,
2022 Super Bowl.
tough.
That was
tough.
Hands down the best Super Bowl. We're talking the
I like Prince's
aftermath. Prince was good.
Prince because Prince was the first time that it felt like a show again because I was post Janet.
Post Nipplegate?
Yeah, and then, Jesus, we had to sit through Paul McCartney putting me to sleep. The Boss, I know you love Bruce Springsteen. But there was nothing more offensive to me than Bruce Springsteen sliding at the camera crotch first.
Yeah, that's more offensive than Nipplegate.
Yeah, terrible.
What if he burst it out?
Dude, oh my God, that would have been, then we have a show. Ladies and gentlemen. What does this have to do with Quantumania? Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
But I missed a show, guys, so we're going to do it.
Speaking of mania.
Quantumania. So, what'd you think of the film?
Okay,
right
out the gate.
We haven't talked about it.
We have not. We literally just came in and started rolling, which we like to do.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go right out and say this, man. I thought everything about it was a pitch perfect Marvel movie.
Yeah.
I
heard that today from a customer.
It hit all the right notes. It's beautifully shot. The cast kills it. Every single one of them are amazing in this movie. I'm getting tired of the formula, man.
Yeah.
I think I'm just getting... It's not necessarily being jaded. It's just like... It was go big or go home, and it was go home.
Yeah.
There was no real stakes here.
Yeah.
And when we get further into the review, I want to talk to you about the part would have made me love this movie.
Okay, don't say it now.
I'm saying had stopped right there. I would have been like, whoa.
I think I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, so for me, it's just another Marvel movie, and to me, it might be a decline in the MCU for me if they keep hitting us with this.
Yeah, we've got the Marvel points, the bad guy we can relate with.
Sure.
We could have avoided all of this if somebody had just talked to us.
Yeah. Communication is always the problem in MCU. I think that's always the underlying thing is like no one communicates.
Yeah, like Cap will write you a letter. He'll send you a black flip phone in the mail. But if you're one-on-one with him, we're not getting anything.
Yeah. I think what did you think of it right out the gate?
So right out the gate, I was pretty irritated by the movie right off the bat.
Oh, yeah.
It takes a long time to get going.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'm exaggerating in saying it probably takes a good 40 minutes to an hour to address what's going on.
There you go.
Yes.
We get right into we actually get into the quantum realm
pretty quick.
Yeah. 5 minutes in. You get a pretty interesting exposition. Initially, I was like, "Oh God, they're doing a voiceover for flashback," but it's actually Scott reading from his book.
Yeah,
which I thought was genius.
Which Big Tuna told us that you can actually. So Scott Lang in the movie has written a book about being an Avenger, being him.
Yeah.
And it's doing well. People know who Ant-Man is.
Yeah.
And Jordan said that they're actually releasing this book that Paul Rudd has done the audiobook for as Scott Lang. And it sounds like it's going to be released, I believe, in August.
Yes.
Maybe Jordan can put the date on that he knows. And it sounds like it's going to be probably hand in hand with the release on Disney Plus.
I agree.
So you can get. I'm going to buy the.
I'm going to read it. Yeah. I think we should review it.
I didn't even think about that. I was just going to listen to it.
Yeah.
I'm not reading.
We'll either listen and read it, and we'll review it.
Yeah. So that'll be fun. I like the kind of meta, take there.
Sure. I thought it was a great exposition framing device. It gives everyone who's kind of forgot about Ant-Man. It catches them up real fast.
Yes. Unfortunately, without Louise giving us the catch-up, that's a big problem. The original kind of gang, the gang's not all here.
The gang is not all here.
We don't have T.I., we don't have David Desmalchin, we don't have
Michael Pena.
It's weird that we know David Desmalchin's name, but the guy's awesome. David Desmalchin was the voice of that gooey guy.
Oh, so he's
still in the movie,
in it,
just not as the Russian.
Right, okay.
So, there seemed to be a very strange, we're going to talk some negative stuff, where there seemed to be a very strange disconnect into like where we are in time in terms of the blip, Endgame, post-Endgame.
Right.
It seems like it's probably a few years.
Right.
Maybe it's like up to 5 years. It
Okay,
could be up to 5 years.
That's fine, yeah.
But it seems like the Cassie that they got, for some reason, seems a little younger to me than the one that we had before. The kind of like high school, teenage Cassie.
Right.
She's very woke in terms of more activist. I don't want to say woke. She's a woke
activist.
She's a woke activist.
Well, I do think, because, when we get into the movie, we find Cassie, after Scott has read his book to this, he's reading it in a bookstore. He gets a cell phone call that his daughter's locked up in jail for a peaceful protest that kind of turned not so peaceful. But they do kind of slide in this kind of ACAB kind of thing against the police, and it's interesting. It does lead me to one real thing. So, another quick spoiler. So Cassie, this cop's like, give it back. Turns out it's the police car.
Yeah.
Cassie did use some PIM particles to shrink the police car, and she just throws at him. I always under the impression that the PIM particles kept the mass, but it was just small, but it kept the mass. How was she able to lift that? It should be the mass of a cop car.
That's right, but then again, we've seen that in Civil War when he throws it at the water truck.
That's true, but
I agree with you. No, I totally agree with you.
Okay.
Now, maybe it's just with... no, because, they say that.
That's kind of the whole point of the PIM particle.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. I hadn't thought about that.
So anyway, yeah.
Now, thinking about the time lapse, where it could be, because it's probably modern day, which...
Sure.
This is... 2023 is the year that Endgame takes place.
Oh, God.
Did you know that?
That's right.
Yeah. So
I forgot about that.
So in our time, 2023 is the year. So sorry, side point. There seems to be a weird tension between her and her dad.
Of course, Cassie and
she
Scott.
kind of like has a feeling, you're not a hero like you used to be, kind of thing.
Right. He's kind of resting on his laurels, but he's retired. He saved the world. I feel like he's put in his time.
Totally.
And we get Hope kind of running the business.
Hope is running Van Dyne Tech or Van Dyne Foundation. Van Dyne Foundation.
Yeah.
And there's like a really sweet relationship between Cassie and Hank Pym, but it doesn't like. I want to see that relationship build, not that we just have it.
Sure.
And in this movie, Hank seems very different than he had in the previous two films.
Oh, big time.
In look, in demeanor. Now, maybe he's got his groove back because his wife's home. That's possible.
That's very true.
That's possible.
Oh, my God, you're right.
But yeah, she refers to him as Grandpa Hank.
Which is, it always throws me off. I'm like, oh, yeah, they're not related.
They're not. And where is his ex-wife and her husband?
Yeah.
Which, they really cut it. I really like those side characters.
I do
really,
too. That's what made
Ant-Man
Ant-Man
team.
Yeah.
So I'm really bummed that stuff wasn't there.
We kind of got rid of the heist aspect of Ant-Man.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, we get
to a heist, but and it's like I said, it takes about 45 minutes to an hour to actually get where we're going.
Right.
It's so annoying that when we get into the quantum realm, you may as well be at like a transgender,
non-binary,
like Comic-Con.
There you go.
That is just nothing but everybody just saying he, him.
Sure.
They keep referring to he. We're gonna take you to him.
Yeah.
He will want to see you. He knows you're here, and they keep doing this as if the audience doesn't know it's Kang.
Right.
It's so it's obnoxious.
It kind of is.
It's genuinely obnoxious.
Big time.
There's a drinking game in there where we could drink every time a he him pronoun
we'd be
comes
trashed.
up. So that was a little weird.
Yeah.
On the better side is that we actually get to see a lot of interesting stuff about Kang.
Oh, God, yeah.
How he's in the quantum realm. I think our kind of theory about him being trapped there, almost banished there, I think that held true.
I think that was Tuna's theory.
No,
Yeah, was it yours?
Screw you, dude.
I thought it was okay.
You're in Guantanamo Bay right now.
Because one of you said that he was banished there by the other Kangs, which yes, very very much true.
Yeah,
and it turns out that Janet was the one that saw him and nursed him back to health.
Yeah, because Janet's just giving it up everywhere on the. You get a lot of promiscuous Janet in the quantum realm, at least mentions of it, and it's hilarious. She finds Kang. He's like his ship gets destroyed.
Yeah,
gets into the quantum realm, and it can't work because of some reason.
Yep.
I'll try to leave some stuff for you.
Right.
And she helps
They
him
don't even
rebuild
really
it.
explain it,
Yeah, she helps him rebuild it, but then she finds out that he's a conqueror. And he gives her the option. He's like, hey, I'll take you out of here. You can tell she's been in the quantum realm probably for like 10 or 15 years.
For a minute, yeah.
Because she's down there for like 30.
Yeah.
And Kang's like, yeah, I'll get you out. And he tells her, he's like, I can put you back so that you never left.
Yeah.
You know, and she's like, well, you're going to destroy time. He's like, not yours. He's like, but I will conquer other timelines.
Yeah, it's like,
this
it's my
and that.
thing.
She does something to trap him there, which is kind of the whole thing. I don't want to give away the hype, even
Fair
though
enough.
you probably got some of it.
But you know what? I will say, Jonathan Majors as Kang, still pitch effing perfect.
Yeah.
Love the man. Love what he's doing with the character. My favorite line in this movie is in that scene when she's like, "What are you gonna do? What I was born to do, win."
Yeah.
Sent chills down my spine. Like I was like, "Whoa!" Like that is a villain on par with Thanos.
Yeah.
Just the way he delivers that line.
And he seems obsessed with winning.
Yes.
More than anything.
Oh, God,
like,
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I can do things. And kind of the stuff that Kang does in the comic books, you know, there are times where he lives in caveman times
Sure.
and is the head of a caveman tribe, and he'll fight a bear without any tech to show that he is the alpha.
Yeah.
You know, we know that he was in Egypt as Ramses II. We know that he's been Victor Timely in the early 1900s. Like, we know different eras of Kang. He's trying to push himself in different ways.
That's the thing that separates him and Thanos to me. Is Thanos is a bit altruistic. He's like doing this awful thing in his mind for the betterment of existence.
Yeah.
Kang is like, his motive is just, I want to conquer.
Yeah.
There's no curing that hunger that
Yes.
he has to win, and it's scary.
In this quantum realm, obviously there are tons of other beings down there.
Of course.
They do some very high concept stuff with like living buildings and living ships.
Yeah,
That's,
everything has sentience.
Yeah,
almost.
yeah.
And it's interesting. I will say that. It had to me. It very much had a very. There was a movie called Fantastic Planet from the 70s. It had the same kind of aesthetics, in my opinion, just the way that the creatures looked. So I was getting some psychedelic Fantastic Planet vibes.
Fair enough. Fair enough. We understand that when he gets into the quantum realm, when Janet basically helps him and then turns on him to save what she thinks is the world, you know, he becomes a conqueror of the quantum realm.
Yeah, he turns it into an empire.
Yes,
He turns his prison into an empire.
it looks very Star Warsian in many aspects.
You know, I was getting ready to say, this is the Star Wars movie I didn't get to see. It's my favorite looking Star Wars movie right now.
Fair enough.
They even
fair
have a
enough.
cantina scene
They do.
where we get our awesome cameo.
We do get a good cameo. Feels a little wasted, but Krylar.
Big time wasted.
Bill Murray. I'm glad that he wasn't a big part, but you get the sense that him and Janet were canoodling, as it were, that they were both resistance fighters, and when she left, he kind of took in with Kang.
Yes.
And he's a lord.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
He's got the cape
Yeah,
and
yeah.
everything.
We see resistance fighters. Jatila and Quaz are kind of these main ones. Jatila, or I don't know if I'm saying it right, to be honest. I haven't only seen it the one
She's
time.
the bodybuilder.
Yeah, she's the bodybuilder chick. And
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, she
Cool.
looks great.
She's killed
but strong Hook vibes. Like, she could have been one of the grown-up Lost Boys.
Oh, God.
Like, she looked like I was just waiting for her to shout Bangarang.
Yeah.
And then Quaz.
Yes.
Quaz was something that we thought, you know, the internet had kind of surmised that maybe this was Quasar. It is not Quasar.
It is not
No.
furthesting from Quasar.
Yes. Very interesting. He's a telepath. It's funny. It works.
They didn't stomp the joke into the ground.
No, they did.
They used him just right.
Yeah.
And then we got Holes guy.
Yeah, Holes guy, the jelly dude, the
Jelly dude,
David
yes.
Smallchin.
Holes, baby.
Yeah, how many holes do you have? That's what they want to know in this movie. Inquiring minds want to know. It was nice to get more of Kang's origins, and he kind of talks about that, he was banned, like he lost, and is like
He
banished.
was banished there by
What we think are other Kangs.
Other Kangs.
You know, it's kind of
he is
the
called
idea.
the exiled one.
Hey, I'm into it. To Eric's point, the movie does look good. It's super
it's
fun. The
shot
visuals
so
are great.
Yeah.
And aside from that opening taking so long to get started, and then just kind of the lack of chemistry between Cassie and Scott. I
really,
really do enjoy the film.
I think the further it went on, I think the better their chemistry got. But you're right. Initially, I feel like it was a little forced.
Yeah.
It's like you could tell the actors were still kind of feeling each other out, and I think they nailed it at the end.
Yeah.
You know, we get the happy huggy scene, and I think it worked right there.
Yeah.
Another favorite scene of mine is keep going.
No, go ahead.
No. I'm gonna see what you're gonna say next if I can tie it in there.
We get to learn some stuff about Kang without giving away the whole thing. We've seen it in the trailer where he talks about, oh, you're an Avenger.
Yeah.
Have I killed you before?
Yeah.
Which, why would you ask him that? Jordan was saying. He's like, if you killed him before,
you would know.
how would he know?
He should have just been like, oh, I've killed you before.
Yeah. Jordan had a real hard time with the with
some of the language in
on
there,
that. It would have been cool to see small relics from other Avengers.
Oh God,
very Maestro-esque. Like that would have been really cool
so awesome,
to really put the point home. But he is completely on edge the whole time. Like he is calm and then not calm.
Oh yeah,
constantly.
It's awesome.
It's so like a switch turning.
To Jonathan Majors just being an awesome actor, that is why you want to watch this movie. It's because of him, and of course Paul Rudd, and Michelle Pfeiffer, and everybody else, and Michael Douglas. They do great.
Yeah, everybody's really good. It's just. Again, with this phase, it's just that last thing that pulls things together. I don't know what it is. They don't know what it is, but we're missing it.
Yeah, just like, okay, so we're kind of getting to when we finally get past the slow part, we're in the quantum realm, and we finally establish that the he is Kang.
The he, him.
The he, him, and we find out that Janet is cliche Guevara down there. And it's just, we finally get the meat of the story. And I don't want to give away the big part of it, but my favorite line in there is when Kang does the double cross. I just was hoping that Scott Lang would go, "This wasn't part of the deal, Blackheart."
I wonder if he would have It seems like Kang should be a man of his word, but
that's what I thought he would be. He's a deceitful a-hole.
Yeah, which is it's interesting. It's coming from a different place.
Speaking of deceitful a-hole, can we talk MODOK real quick?
Yes.
I was not on board with MODOK initially.
Yeah.
When I saw the image, I was like, oh no. Turns out it's Darren.
Yeah.
With a little spoiler there, which I think everybody kind of knew that.
Yeah.
So it's not much of a spoiler, but they actually do it well.
They do it pretty well.
He can be intimidating, but once the face mask comes off, you're like, it's funny.
It's funny and it's bad in parts, but it's actually really good in parts too.
It is.
But it literally is a stretched face.
Yeah,
it doesn't look fantastic all the time.
No.
But it does have its moments.
It does.
And it's really funny.
And I love his moment with Cassie.
I do
at
too.
the end. I think it's hilarious. That's probably the biggest comedy scene is at the very end with him and Scott.
Yeah.
It's tiny. But, I will say it does echo, and it might be my final thought. But yeah, it is an awesome scene.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Some interesting tidbits that we have to dissect is that Kang warns Janet, or he warns Scott, or he might warn them both. If he doesn't get out, worse things will happen.
Yeah.
Just as He Who Remains said, if you kill me, worse things are going to happen.
It sort of echoes in the Infinity storyline from the comic books when one of the builders is killed by Thor. The builder starts gasping as, awesome scene where Thor kills one of the builders with his hammer. He punches it through one of the builder's chest. And it's one of the best Thor scenes in comics, but he goes, you don't understand. If I die, worse things are going to happen.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we might get a little Infinity, which is probably one of my favorite top 5 storylines. Some kind of tie-in there.
Yeah.
As far as just story beats. If you haven't read Infinity, go read it. It's awesome.
John Hickman.
The man.
Great stuff. Overall, really enjoyed the movie. I would give it a strong B-.
Me too. That's about where
I want to see it again to see if I like the beginning more now that I know, because I was just so amped for this movie. Part of this is me just being so amped.
We all love the Scott Lang character.
Yes.
We love their little team, but when half the team is just gone, it does lose some of its charm. Again, Paul Rudd, not the problem. Nobody's the problem actor-wise. It's the same beats. But the only thing that kind of saves it is the visuals and the acting.
Yeah.
But the story, as far as the story is concerned, I don't know, man. It's a little vague.
I think it's going to come back, and we're going to hit the credit scenes real quick. So please, if you haven't seen them, they are interesting. So the first one, we actually get to see, spoilers, a council of Kangs.
Yes.
We see Ramses' second Kang,
Immortus,
and what could be a grown Iron Lad.
Yes.
He has a red
I was
metal,
going to say that, yes.
But I don't like that unless we get
somewhere?
to see the young Iron Lad
Right.
leave and become that.
Yeah.
Very interesting. They're talking about how that King,
The exiled one.
the exiled one, has been taken care of, and they seem to fear him.
Yes.
So, was he keeping these Kings in
check.
control?
I was thinking that.
Who knows? But we saw a whole freaking...
There's a stadium full of Kangs meeting, and they're amped.
Yeah.
Ready to go to war, it seems like.
It looks like the Star Trek scene in the last season with Q,
Oh,
where he's
God.
like kind of in his in his
Yeah.
realm of fifth dimensional beings or whatever they are. So that was cool. It was
Yeah.
like fun, taffy pulling. But what really got me, what my Nick Fury coming out of the shadows in Iron Man 1 moment was the second credit scene. We see it looks to be turn of the century,
1920s.
19 something or other. And we're seeing a version of Kang. Old school, very much looks like
Frederick Douglass.
It looks very. Thank you.
Yeah.
Looks very much like Frederick Douglass, but the sign says Victor Timely, which is a nice nod to Timely Comics.
Yeah.
And Victor Timely is a Kang.
Yes, he is.
And he's explaining like a steam engine or something weird that he's making. It almost looks like one of those old timey fairs where they're showing off
like a World's Fair.
Traveling fair type thing, and he's showing some stuff
Selling some snake oil.
And in the audience, we see Loki and Mobius.
Yes.
Talking, and Mobius is like, this guy don't look so bad, and Loki looks terrified.
Yeah, he's like, oh no.
Yeah, like he looks terrified.
Yeah.
So
makes me wonder how the Asgardians had a run-in with Kang before.
no, I think this is just having him because he wouldn't know.
That's true, but he did meet him at the
yes. So I think he's basing it off that.
Okay.
Now I think that this was actually a scene from Loki season 2.
Okay.
So it's opening like we're not done with Kang at all. It would be very interesting if in several different movies we're dealing with a version of Kang.
I think that's where they're going to go.
Yeah.
Which I'm okay with.
Yeah.
And when you get that mid-credit scene with all the three main Kangs, I'm talking him up. I am writing his D so much.
Yeah.
Jonathan Majors is playing initially 4 different Kangs, and they all have a different personality, a different voice. Mm-hmm. That is scary. Mm-hmm. How does this guy act so well?
Yeah, he's
because you get a feeling for every one of these Kangs. You're like, I see their personality.
Yeah.
I see how they're different. The guy's so talented.
See,
it's scaring me, man.
I thought that the He Who Remains was Immortus because his costume looked like Immortus minus the hat.
Right.
But this version,
it's
he had
straight
the
on
hat.
Immortus. He's Immortus.
Yeah. So it's going to make for very, very like while it didn't give me that A plus that Multiverse of Madness or No Way Home did.
Sure.
The payoff still feels pretty good.
Okay.
Like I said, in Iron Man 1, I was like, oh, this was a pretty good movie. And then seeing Nick Fury in the shadows at the end really bumped it up a notch or two.
Yeah.
So, yes, the movie's fun. I don't know that it's worth going out opening weekend and dealing with all the hubbub. But if you want to remain spoiler-free, even though we've already spoiled so many things, we still left a lot of cool stuff in there. There's still a lot of meat on that bone. Of
course.
It just does take a little bit of time
You're
to
right.
get going.
It's because, again, it's all Janet's fault.
Yeah.
All she really had to say was that there's a scary guy down there. Don't talk about the quantum realm. Don't go into the quantum realm.
Mm-hmm.
That's all what I said right there could have solved all
Solves a lot of things. Yeah. What we talking about? More communication,
And it's just like, even like, again, starting an hour into this movie, we finally get the reveal that it's Kang. Like you said, we didn't effing know.
Yeah.
And
it was so frustrating.
Yeah. And you know what? Bill Murray was, now thinking about it, kind of a wasted cameo.
So wasted. But
Yeah,
I heard he really wanted to be in a Marvel movie.
Okay.
And he was like, how do I do that? And then they were just like, reach out to him. So
And they threw him into this.
Yep.
Which I think he would have served better somewhere else.
Yeah.
I got some Ernie McCracken vibes on him. Big time in this
Big Earn.
Big Earn vibes for sure. He's like, come on, baby. I know you haven't forgot those times in the quantum realm.
Oh my gosh, yeah, he's throwing shade on old Hank. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. The movie's fun, guys. I can't wait to hear what you guys think about it below. Did you guys have the same issues that we had? Go ahead and let us know. That is our show. If you like what we're doing, please hit that subscribe button. Click that alarm and
tickle the bell.
We will blink 3 times if Jordan gets released. All right. Eric, do you have any final thoughts for us?
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
It's never too late to not be a dick.
It's
kids.
never too late, kids.
Just be nice to each other out
yeah,
there.
Jordan could use that right now. Gitmo. Kids, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I've been your host, Roman Chavez.
I'm so Erik Icarus.
And for the big tuna who could not be here, we will catch you guys on the next podcast.